Welcome back, everybody. We are roughly day 22, I believe, in the middle of this latest government shutdown. And I don't know if it appears to be going as well for Democrats as they perhaps thought that it would. And in this new era of digital media, Democrats are decisively losing the messaging war. But how did they get so bad at all of this? You've got all of Hollywood, that is all the creative folks, the comedians, all of these people who, by and large, align with the left. I don't know how they got so bad at comedy, but joining us now to break it all down, comedian and host of The Wade Show with Wade, Wade Stotts. Wade, thanks so much for being here.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege.
Likewise. And, the White House has done a great job this time around. They had a post up last week on their Instagram, and it was one of the slide throughs. And it was all these ridiculously out of focus pictures. One of them, you could tell that someone's finger was partially over the viewfinder. And they had some type of caption beneath it that said, "Sorry for the low quality pictures. The White House social media team has been furloughed." They're finding these creative ways to push the messaging across that it's Democrats who are shutting this down. Do you think they're doing a good job? Could you offer them some more comedy tips for ways that they can use it?
I think they seem to be having a ton of fun with this as compared to the Democrats. And it's much more, their messaging is coming across because I think of the humor. So the Democrats, their response to this, they decided to do a 24-hour live stream all about their reasons for the shutdown. And I find myself explaining this to people who are very politically involved, letting them know that the Democrats did a 24-hour live stream. And the reason that people don't know this is because they did, I think there were a few dozen people watching at any one time. So the Democrats' messaging is not going as far and wide as the Republicans is, and so a few dozen people watching as compared to the the whole story about the shutdown became about the Hakeem Jeffries sombrero meme, and I think that's just a delightful transformation because the left can't help themselves commenting on, again, what is a very silly joke, and the joke itself is not really what's funny. What's funny is that they took it as seriously as they did and turned it into some kind of, that was the symbol. Believe it or, whether they liked it or not, they turned the sombrero into the symbol of the shutdown.
Yeah.
It is pretty remarkable. I've been struck in the last 48 hours that the Democrats seem more concerned about the destruction of a few walls, World War II era walls at the White House, than the destruction of a family that might not get a paycheck or a WIC supplement or a check this month. And I think that the idea that they're more concerned about a building than the people that they've now harmed by the shutdown, that seems to want to potentially be a political boomerang for them.
Right. And, I talked about how funny Trump's being, how funny the White House is being. And this isn't just in sort of hypothetical funny points. It's showing up in the approval ratings. Everybody is, I think the CNN, everybody's seen the video of CNN saying his approval rating has actually gone up since the beginning of the shutdown. No matter what the messaging is on the left, it's not as sticky for some reason. They should maybe try some fun memes, but I don't see it working out very well for them. And it makes me think about, if I were not politically involved right now, if I didn't have any strong political commitments, and I was just trying to figure out which side seemed like the most fun, like the best time to join, I wouldn't say it's the Democrats because they have to, sort of be solemn all the time. They have to be worried about what's coming up. And I think the only thing they're allowed to laugh at is when their, political opponents get assassinated. It's this weird inversion of they're laughing, having fun about the worst things on planet Earth, and we're having fun as we win and continue to win. I hope for more winning, obviously, but we're enjoying the fun and the winning.
More sombreros. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, and speaking of that, I remember a few years ago, I'm here in Los Angeles right now, and during Cinco de Mayo, this was, I think, during President Trump's first term, and Democrats were up in arms saying that white people were appropriating Mexican culture. But I remember looking it up at the time, and again, this was probably 5 years ago. Mexico, I think about $15 to $20 billion worth of their national revenue comes from tourism. So if white people stop buying sombreros, they're in trouble.
I love that. Yeah, and I don't see people getting offended about it who are Mexicans. I do see. Elizabeth Warren types getting very angry about the sombrero memes. But I say keep them coming, and I say whoever is telling the Democrats to freak out about the sombrero memes, that this is a hurtful and destructive thing to our democracy. I think that's the exact right tack. The tack I'd like to see from them. I'm excited about that because the self-serious people, those are the least attractive. Those are the least Again, it's not going to bring up people over to your side, and we've seen that again in the numbers. It's again not just a goofball funny time. And I think also the Democrats are not used to playing defense. Trump is the first person in my lifetime to put the Democrats on the defensive. Before Trump, the right was just sort of helplessly reacting to every Democrat outrage, and now the Democrats are doing that to Trump, and you can tell that they're not used to it. They've gotten they're really out of practice in being the party that has to gain approval from another way. And I think they've always not been the fun party, but because they were in power, they were able to sort of hide that. The power can make all of your lame attempts at humor into the funniest thing on planet Earth. Everybody can pretend to really like the Kamala Doritos meme. Everybody can pretend to like the Kamala Namanon or whatever, the coconut tree thing, and think that's the most entertaining and fun thing. But nobody really liked it. Everybody just it was like it's this anxious attempt to try to seem humorous, which is very different from laid back. We're having a good time. We're getting our jobs done, and we were having fun when we weren't in power. The right was having fun when we didn't have all of this, political leverage that we have now. And so again, I like the fun. I like the winning. I like it best when they're put together.
Absolutely.
It works.
Wade, tell everybody where they can find out more about your show.
The Wade Show with Wade, and I'm at Wade Stotts on X. You can follow me there, and I post my videos there and YouTube.
Yeah, it's a great follow. So everybody go check him out on X. Wade Stotts, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.